And you can kind of taste that throughout, or like curry powder in oxtails. I'm not big on curry powder being in oxtails unless it's Jamaican. Like I make a real.
Well, I was about to say, I don't know. Like I've tasted two different types of oxtails. We need to go on the show, Tony. We live. Oh my God.
Let me tell you, I love
Yeah, we live, man.
Hey man.
Y'all was having such a good conversation. I just let y'all go ahead on.
No, but I've
But
noticed
let's let
like
everybody
different
know we
cuisines,
live.
especially like when it comes to oxtails, how it's different. Especially like Jamaican and American oxtails are totally different.
But I was just, I just said I went to Shop Baby today and I liked it. It's okay, and I want everybody to go visit, support our black business.
Yes,
Like that's
absolutely.
my young lady, man, and black business, and they're trying, and they're in the hood,
I'm so excited about that. I'm gonna have to try them out. Now, tell me again where they're located.
On Magnolia, I went there today. Shop
What's the
Baby,
address? You know the
Shop
address?
Baby, Shop Baby, baby.
Shabbat Bay.
Yeah,
Shabbat Bay on
on
Magnolia.
Magnolia.
What is
Yeah.
that?
So
After Wilson
that's
Street, right?
yeah, huh?
That's after Wilson, huh?
That's just before you get to
That's
Lucas.
right across from Magnolia, Old Magnolia Gardens.
No.
No,
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 It's
no. It's
farther
up
up
the
north.
yeah,
Before
it's
you get to
further up
Lucas,
the street. It's
before
like
you get to the car
almost
wash.
yeah,
okay,
yeah,
yeah. I seen it down there.
Well,
yeah. What is it? Like almost across the street from Ace, sort of kind of?
yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Right. But anyway, we're live we're live. We've been live for the last 2-3 minutes. I was laughing so much at y'all talking and all the behind the
Hey,
scenes.
well, you know how it
I
go
let
on the
everybody
round
know we was
table.
on. But tonight, this is Roundtable Talk, and everything goes on Roundtable Talk. And I was going to do something a little different tonight with everyone. I didn't have an introduction to let you all know that we was coming on, and said we are an hour earlier tonight, and we want to kind of start early tonight. So we at that age now that we feel real good when we laying down. So anyway,
Man,
I want to
stop
have,
it.
I wanna
We
have
got on early tonight because we definitely wanted to talk about that shit show that we saw the other day.
you talk
That's
about that.
why we on early tonight.
Yeah, we talk about that so-called debate.
I've been working all day, looking forward to unpacking all my issues because I got some issues I need to
We gonna
unpack.
talk
Okay,
about.
I even made some little notes. Okay, so that I could be sure not to leave certain things out. And then I said,
Absolutely.
I'm gonna be with a bunch of guys tonight. I said, and I'm sure they're gonna dissect that thing. I better be ready, baby, because I can't play with y'all.
Hey, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna do something different tonight, and I'm doing it right now. And as those who like to join us on Roundtable Talk, you got something you want to talk about, you want to discuss, I'm going to post in the comment section our link to our Knowledge is Power podcast. If you
Oh
like,
wow.
you have a chance to pop on here, and what you do is scan to upload the link that I'm going to post on there, and you'll see it when you chime in, when you link in. If you'd like to join us, come on board and get somewhere where it's quiet with yourself, and so we won't hear the background noise. So if you'd like to join in, you want to do a little talk, I post on our comment box our link to link in to Knowledge is Power Podcast Live. But my guest tonight is LaDonna Sherwood, Unc Chris Jones, and again my good friend Terry Roy. We're local from Beaumont, Golden Triangle, and we do this every first Thursday of the month. Every first Thursday of the month, we do what we call Roundtable Talk. We're going to talk about local, national.
It's a lot of local stuff going
Yeah, a
on.
lot of
It's
local
a
stuff.
lot
We got
of
a lot to
local
talk
stuff
about.
we
If
gonna
you
talk
know a little
about.
bit you want to talk about, let's come on, join us.
Join
We have
in.
so many things to unpack tonight, baby. I am
Yeah.
ready. I got both of my cameras going. I even went live on Facebook tonight. I said, you know what? I've been doing some really great shows, and I need people to see me, honey.
Go
I
ahead,
need to
girl.
record
Go
this
ahead,
and
girl.
get
Go ahead,
my
girl.
business
Go
together.
ahead, girl. Go ahead. Hey, listen. By the way, let's let everybody know about Knowledge is Power Podcast Live. And let me tell you something. We've been having some great guests on here. If you have not seen one, go to our YouTube page, Knowledge is Power Podcast, and you can see all the shows that all our shows from day one. So
Right.
if there's a show you missed, you go back, and also you can make it public. You can transfer it. You can email it to someone else or whatever. This is what we for, so we can support our community, educate our community. Knowledge is Power Podcast Live is a platform to share important information by educating the Southeast Texas African American communities with valuable info on health, education, local politics, business, personal finance. Last Sunday we had a great show with the candidates from Port Arthur, those who run in a local city council, and I'd like you guys to know that we want to support everyone there. So those who have not, I have not invited because I have not been able to contact you, all the candidates in the Port Arthur race. Please contact me, email me, just put your name and contact number in the comment box, or inbox me so that we can invite you to the podcast on Knowledge is Power. Okay, so I don't want to miss nobody that we support, and we're going to support our Black businesses. We're going to support our Black candidates. We want qualified people in these places. But let me get that straight. You can be Black, but you got to be qualified. We want qualified people.
Straighten
Yes,
it out.
sir.
Straighten
Yes,
that
sir.
out, sir. Straighten that out.
Yeah, I want to straighten that out. Yeah. So we had some great guests the other night, and if you missed it, go back to our matter of fact, you can go to our Facebook page, and you can find Knowledge is Power Facebook page, and you can find that last video of last podcast on the Port Arthur candidates that's running for city council. That's going to be very interesting. And those guests that I want to start posting these guests on shows. Remind me to start posting those guests on here. Oh, and by the way, Jefferson County Democratic Headquarters, 2211 Calder Street, is now open from Monday, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays. No, Fridays, right?
Yeah, Friday too.
Fridays and Saturday, yes, from 2 to 6.
Right.
You can pick up your yard signs, you can pick up your buttons, you can put all the candidates are at Democratic headquarters. So if you'd like to pick up that and the push cards, anything you want. Yeah. Did I miss something?
No, I was just gonna say that we have buttons. They're registering people to vote. They're taking in volunteers for the polls. They are also going to have the Biden-Harris signs after October the 7th, and they need people to volunteer to work the polls. This is a really huge, extremely big.
Right. We need volunteers at the polls. We need poll workers. We don't need poll watchers. We need poll workers.
The last day to register to vote is October the 5th. The last day to register to vote is October 5th. So if you are not registered to vote, you need to do that before October the 5th. The people that are working the polls, they can do that in 2-hour shifts. We are number 2 on all of the ballots. The Democrat candidates are number 2 on all of the ballots. My good friend Mary is a write-in. Make sure that you write her in, Mari. She's running for Commissioner Precinct 1. I just want to also add, if you cannot get a voter registrar at the Democratic headquarters, you can go to Carolyn Guidry's office and locally register to vote. And also, all of the local candidates sign, people that you want to support. Zena, if you want to support Javon Pollard, those signs are free. Put them in your yard. Make sure your community knows who you're supporting, and maybe it'll create some dialogue. We need to create dialogue with our neighbors, with our friends.
Absolutely.
With the people in our community about getting out the vote. That's what we don't care who you vote for, just so long as you vote.
Absolutely. Yes. Absolutely.
And let's see, it was another deal we had. It was on top of my brain. You know, my brains don't work like they used to work. We've got, Javon Pollard would be with us Sunday at 7:00. So if you are watching, please watch us Sunday. Javon Pollard is going to run for Jefferson County Constable Precinct 1. So
one other thing, early voting is October the 13th through the 30th.
I was going to say, can somebody mention that? Yeah.
Early voting, October the 13th through the 30th. October 13th through the 30th. We want everybody to vote early. Don't wait till the next minute. Please don't.
I want to thank Alicia for giving us a heads
Yeah.
up on the voter registration. It's also is that Nathan,
You could
yes,
pick up
office.
you could definitely pick up a card in either one of those offices, but I would suggest if you're in the Jefferson County Courthouse already and you went to the VA in there, you could pick up a voter registration card. If you go to, check on your driver's license, of course that's where you would turn it in. You could turn it into the voter registrar's desk in Jefferson County's, uh, I guess like its vehicle registration department, and they'll. I know for sure if you drop it off to Miss Allison, she'll get you documented and get you on the way as soon as possible. So yes, that's definitely a place where you can pick up. You could even go to the DMV on 69. They have voter registration cards there. But just make sure that your voter registration is in the mail before the 5th. That's what you said, right, LaDonna?
Yes, I
And
registered. Last day to register to vote is October the 5th.
and you can put it in the registrar's hand on October the 5th before 5 o'clock.
Okay.
You can put it in her hand before 5 o'clock.
Right.
I'm sorry, the tax assessor collector's hand before 5 o'clock.
And let's make sure we inform our people that on when you get your mail-in ballot, don't wait till the last day.
Absolutely
Yeah.
not.
No.
And I agree, Tony. As soon as you get your mail-in ballot, and I don't know about anywhere else. I'm not from anywhere else. I only live here in Southeast Texas. There are not any non-solicited ballots that are being issued through Jefferson County. I'm gonna say it again. There are not any non-solicited ballots that are being offered and issued in Jefferson County. There is a sample ballot that is being passed around throughout all of Jefferson County,
Right.
but it is not an actual ballot that you would mail in.
No.
You would have the county's address on your ballot.
Right.
Verify that you and again, the only way you're going to get that ballot is if you met the deadline for the application that was sent to you. Everybody, I think every household every household got one application
Right.
to register for the application to receive a ballot by mail. But that doesn't mean that anybody receive a non-solicited or non-requested ballot in the mail.
And my thing is this: people that receive the mail-in ballot, please fill it out. And those of us that are young, that are vibrant, that are like me, that are watching my podcast, let's go out and vote in numbers. Get you a mask, honey, and go up to the polls and let your voice be heard. Don't wait on this mail-in ballot. Return the ballot. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. Maybe it gets to the right location. Maybe you mail it in time. Maybe you don't. We need to vote early. We need to vote in record numbers. And it doesn't matter if you don't think your candidate is the one. You must vote. Vote like your life depends on it. It doesn't matter who you vote for, but you must vote. We need to make sure that we come out in record numbers.
I totally agree.
We ought to have like
especially. Go ahead, Mr. Terry. I'm sorry.
I think we ought to have like a stroll to the polls. Like
Right.
that first Saturday, a group of people get together, get you a cup of coffee, and y'all walk from a certain area to the polls.
Up to the polls. You know what? I think that's a great idea, Tony.
A stroll to the polls.
A stroll to the polls. You know what? I'm gonna get
early Saturday morning. You get up, you get you some coffee. Everybody meet up.
You know what? I'm going to see about getting with some of my Ozan Panthers, class of 2000. I'm going to see about getting with some of my local entrepreneur business owner friends. I'm going to see about getting with the NAACP and people that I partner with.
Some neighborhood associations. We could definitely reach out to some
neighborhood associations and say, hey,
and churches
we're
that are
go
close to the polls.
Right. A stroll to the polls.
A stroll to the polls. I'm going to use
it. It's just
a stroll to the polls. Meet me.
We should go to the West End.
Yes.
Yeah. Or I mean, whichever. I
Or
think
wherever.
we should go to whichever pole is underpopulated or underutilized.
And
Right.
that's the
And one of the things we have to understand, and I'm not blaming or criticizing. Well, I am definitely criticizing, but I'm not blaming anybody about it. But some of these poles are hidden in some of these neighborhoods, and if you're not sure of where that pole is and have to be turned around because it's not in that particular spot, but it's at the backside of that spot, one, that's inferior to me.
Right. And we
Two,
don't want to have any type of voter suppression. We don't
right,
want anybody suppressing our vote. We don't
Right.
want anybody taking our vote for granted or giving us any obstacles that's going to get in our way of what we're trying to do. Come rain, sleet, snow, we need to get a day that's sunny, sunshine. Maybe we need to make some sandwiches, pack us a lunch. We don't know we're going to have to wait, whatever, but we need to be dedicated at the
What
time.
that call it, the stroll to the pole.
Stroll to the
to the
polls.
polls.
Let's say that. I want you to slow walk me that, Terry, since you said it started at the stroll.
Okay, what we do, we get up early on, I guess the first Saturday of early voting.
Yeah.
That'd probably be the best day for a lot of people.
Right.
Right.
You find out a designated place you want to meet. So we go to Pay Orchard, the North End. We find a designated spot to meet.
And I think we should do a stroll to the poll maybe on a Saturday, maybe on one day during the week, and maybe we need to do a few strolls to the polls. Okay,
Yeah, exactly.
Especially some of the underutilized.
Yeah, well, where's the polls in the South End?
Okay, I have all the polls. Hold on.
Okay.
Early voting ones.
For you guys.
Oh, okay.
So, here we go. Early voting. Okay, here we go. I'm going with early voting locations. We have Beaumont Main Courthouse, located at 1001 Pearl Street.
That's a good one.
We have the Port Arthur Sub Courthouse, located at 525 Lakeshore Drive. We have Rogers Park, located at 6540 Gladys. We have Theodore Jones Library, located at 4255 Finette Road, that's Beaumont, Texas. We have John Paul Davis Community Center, located at 3580 Lucas. We have the Marion and Ed Hughes Public Library, 2712 Nederland Avenue, that's in Nederland. We have the Groves Recreational Center, that's located at 6150 39th Street in Groves, Texas. We have the Effie and Wilton Hubert Library, located at 2025 Merriman Street in Fort Neches. We have the JP Precinct 4 building, located at 19217 FM 365. So let me repeat that. Precinct 4 building. The JP Precinct 4 building is at 19217 FM 365. That's that Finette Road area. We have the Precinct 1 Service Center that's located at 2205 Highway 90 in China. Those are the early voting locations, and there appears to be about 10 of them. Port Arthur, Nederland, Groves, Port Neches, Beaumont Finette, Beaumont China, and Beaumont North End, West End, and downtown.
Now, our viewers out there, and I'm watching all those who have joined us. It's quite a few of us who have joined us. You're listening to some information. We know that some of our people do not get this information. I'm asking you, please share the information with your neighbors, your friends, people you're talking to on the phone or whatever, because it's so easy to be suppressed.
Yes.
And
one more thing, let me give you the hours of operation. So at these early voting locations from October the 13th to October the 25th, which is a Sunday, they're on, okay, let me straighten this out. October the 13th to October the 24th, which is a Saturday, they're open from 8 to 5. On that Sunday, October the 25th, they are open from 12 to 5. So it's a Sunday, it's only open from 12 to 5.
Mm-hmm.
October the 26th to the 30th, they're open from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. So that's all to catch everybody.
Right. So, and again, if you're watching, you're hearing this information, we're going to talk about 90 minutes of information. And I'm asking you all if you'd like to join us. If you want to make a comment, I'm going to quote your comments because I see your comments. You've got questions you want to ask, just place it in that comment box. But if you want to join the show, you can link in because I placed out a link on the comments box. It's the first link in the comment box, and you can link into this show, this particular show. You come on and you ask your questions, or you want to talk about something. I want you to come on involved. Get
Right. We want
involved.
you to
Get
come on
involved.
and get involved. This the round table, baby. You can say anything you want on this round table tonight. I'm looking
Everything
forward to
goes on the round table.
once we take
everything
care of the
goes on
business,
the
then
round
we're gonna
table.
jump right into it because I got some questions that I want to ask you guys to get your input and see how you guys feel.
All right, then we're gonna do that too. Martha Dotson is asking. So you saying you you can vote. You don't have to vote in your own precinct or your own poll
Not on
location.
early voting.
No,
All
not on early
you
voting.
need is your driver's license.
Not on early voting, and I don't think on election day the county requires you to be in your particular precinct to vote.
Right. All you need is a driver's license and have been registered to vote before October the 5th.
You got that, Bertha? You can vote anywhere. There's a poll in the toilet bowl. You can go vote. You can go vote.
If it ain't no toilet bowl, you can still go to the poll. Okay.
Let's go to the poll. To vote. Thank you, Barbara Hill,
to the poll
too.
A stroll to the poll.
We have a lot of people in our community that doesn't have internet, that doesn't have don't is not in social media. They're not on social media. So
so
you watch this show.
Need that information, Tony.
Right. You watch the show and you don't have time to watch the whole show. Come back to it because it's online. It's everywhere. It's on LinkedIn. It's on YouTube. It's on.
Not everybody have a smartphone, but if they do, you definitely can share this video and several like it with anybody that has a smartphone.
Yes, we want you to know that we this is not third hand, fourth hand information. We're giving you real information.
Right.
So we give you information that we never gotten, but we got it now. And so thank you again, Alicia Rodriguez Montreal. We can vote anywhere early or on election day. And again, let me repeat this. I'm gonna say it one more time. Let me repeat this. I might say it 2 or 3 times tonight. Vote early. As soon as you get your ballot, go vote. Put it in the mailbox. Bring it up.
I'm taking 10 people with me on the first day.
I'm tradition that, and that's one of the things that I do. I would definitely take other individuals that I know, like if just for instance, I'm doing Uber. I know normally on national election days, they do like a free to the polls.
Right.
From your location to the poll and back to your original location. But like normally what I do is if I see somebody or I have pick up somebody as a rider, and I ask them, have you voted yet? Do you want to? And they be like, yeah, I automatically be like, this is a free ride. I'll turn my app off so that, what I'm saying, they're not interrupted while because I'll even have sample ballots in my car as a driver so that they can familiarize themselves with, even if they don't want to go today, you can still familiarize yourself with the ballot so you know if there's anything that's on there.
You know what? I'm going to go to the Democratic headquarters and get some of these little flyers that they've created with the people on the front and the back that we're voting for. And I'm going to put that in my vehicles because that's something that I didn't think about. I take hundreds of people a day to the doctors. And maybe on voting days or during early voting, when they leave the doctor's office, we could be routing them straight to the polls. I didn't think about that.
Right.
My job, my company can be responsible. I mean, we're already taking you where you want to go. I didn't think about that. I can use my vehicle as a way to move people around, and anybody that's under the sound of my voice, if they don't have a ride, you can call.
Yeah, absolutely.
We will take you to the on that day to wherever you need your local polling location. And that's cool. That's super exciting. That's great. I didn't know Uber did that.
Thanks, man. I think I'm like, from what I've heard, I'm the only Uber driver that does that. And I do it for local elections. I do it for national elections. I've asked, Uber if it was all right. They were like, you're not campaigning or anything for anybody. They didn't care. And I'm not, I just like in our meetings that we have, y'all know I'm proficient in saying I follow policy, not politics or politicians.
Right.
And I hope that that just being able to educate people on some of the policies that some of these politicians are playing politics over will resonate with some people, and they're able to make fair judgment on which candidate they so choose.
That's cool. Okay, Tony, let's go.
All right.
Did we take care of all the housekeeping?
We got all the housekeeping out the way.
We got all the spider webs at the top.
So what I'm going
Do
to
we
do
have
now,
any more questions about voting, about early voting, about polling locations? Because we do want to straighten that out first before we jump into how we feel and what we got going on and what our opinions are. We want to give you all the information that you can do to get to the location.
Let me introduce the people to the candidate that we're supporting. This is Constable Javon Pollard. She's running for
I
constable.
love this picture, Javon. Go ahead, girl.
Come on, Queen. I'm loving it.
Yeah. She's going to be on our show on Sunday at 7. I want you to join us, please, at 7. And then we also have Adrian Bell. Let me move
all
this.
All right,
this
Queen Adrian Bell.
Yeah, let me move this right here so you can see. U.S. Congress. Democrat District 14. So vote for Bell. You know how to do that, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. And also, we go local. Jefferson County Commission Precinct 1 is a write-in candidate, Mary.
Awesome, Mary.
All right.
M-A-R-I for the write-in.
M-A-R-I. That's it. And let's see here. We've got our favorite sheriff, Zena.
Our favorite sheriff.
Yeah.
My girl, honey. Go ahead.
That's my cousin.
Yeah,
Come
yeah. So she's running for re-election, and we want to support her. Make sure people, again, when you get that ballot, don't sit it on the table. That is that. Go fill it out right now. If you need somebody to drop it off, call me. I'll come get it. Yeah, I'll come get it and drop it off at the courthouse. Remember that the county district at the clerk office is going to have a drop-in box right in front of the courthouse.
Right.
But you've got to come.
I'll come get you so you can put it in that box at Carolyn. But I ain't
you got to have
ID.
now. That's right. You got to have the ID. Let's see who else I have here. I've got my guy here, Jay Stutterberg. He's running for Texas Senate District 4. He's going to be on now. And I see here. Okay, let's see who else I had. Oh, I hadn't downloaded the file.
We need Joe Desentale.
Yeah, I need Joe. I've got Joe somewhere, and I didn't drop it, but I've got everyone here that we're going to be voting for. Perfect. That's right. The blue ticket, people. The blue ticket. We're going to be voting on the blue ticket. Blue,
and
all the way
remember that you have to individually select your candidate. It's not just pushing one.
You have to individually select your candidate.
Definitely know who your candidate is. Look, what's up, big brother?
Yeah.
Hey, man, that's my big brother right there, man. That's my big brother right there, man.
What's going on, Chris? What's up, Terry? What's up, everybody?
Hey, what's up there?
Hey, what's going on, baby? Listen, we already did all our advertising.
You definitely need to know each individual candidate that you selecting. So it's sort of kind of like do your pre-homework for the ballot. And there are sample ballots that you can also get in Miss Carolyn's office right there. And you can, if you bring your own sample ballot in the ballot box with you,
you can bring it with you.
They cannot tell you, hey, you can't do that, because yes, you can. You can bring your own personally marked sample ballot to the polls with you. Now, if somebody come to your house with a sample ballot that's marked, you should be mad because they telling you don't know how to think for yourself. I'm sorry.
Let me say this. Right. I do think this is a huge deal. At the Jefferson County headquarters or in my cars from now on, you can get a pre-marked sample ballot and take it with you. That is not against the rules.
It's not against the
It
rules.
tells
It's
you
not
who
against
to
the
vote
law.
for.
Yes.
It tells you who we are riding with, who we have decided collectively as a group that we're going to go with. And this is a sample ballot. Let me show y'all again. I want y'all to look, screenshot this, share it, whatever. We are number 2 in every race. We are number 2. The Democrats are. So if you don't know, it's got dim out to the side or just number 2 in each of those races. We're number 2.
All right, number 2 on the ballot. We go, okay. Now we've got that part out the way, because I want
I
folks
think
to
so.
know again one more time.
Unless
if you
Mr.
watch
Perry,
the
hey,
show,
I think my big brother got something to say. Especially when it comes to this election.
let me say this one more time, because I got to say this. I have to say this again.
Well,
If you are watching the show, our knowledge is power, and you are hearing this information, and you know those clear people on the right side will try to suppress you because they think we don't know and you don't know. We're telling you right now that that you need to know, because we don't want you to suppress. We want you to vote, and we want you to vote early. We want you getting the ballot. You're going to go in and mail it right then. We want you to go to the polls. If you're going to the polls, we want to stack the polls up on the first day. That first 5 days, we want to stack the polls. Bring it. If it's going to be lines, bring your launcher, and also power outdoor equipment would be there. I'm going to be interviewing and taping folks at the polls, so you know we mean.
I'm going to be with you.
Yes, we mean business. We want to see everybody
awesome.
on their monkey at the polls.
Let me tell you, Knowledge is Power podcast is going to be in full effect, because between the two of us, we are going to be in the building. Here we come.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, we're gonna be there. We're gonna be on top of it. I want to get a shout out to all the folks that's watching us on the watch party. And my shot went away. Let's see if I can get them back on here again. No, it didn't. That wasn't it. But soon, if I can get back here on the screen here, I want to get a shout out to all the folks that's watching us having on a watch party, and yeah, they're watching it. Yeah, I want to give them know that we appreciate them watching and getting.
We do appreciate all of our viewers. We appreciate
all our viewers
tuning in to make sure that they are gaining the information that they need. But okay, Tony, are we done with housekeeping? Because I have some
we're done with housekeeping.
I want to address.
We're done with housekeeping. Let's talk. Y'all want to start local to national? I like
it don't matter.
Okay, we'll do local.
No, I like the local news.
Yeah, throw the chips up however they fall, because it's all gonna make a local effect. You know what I'm talking about?
Right.
Let me ask you this. Since we're talking about what y'all want to talk about, how did y'all like that shit show we had on Tuesday night? Oh,
well, I thought you said local.
That's been on my this. I know, but I just want to talk about that. That's the first thing we need to talk about, I think, because
I think it is too. I think we should go national first. I think that we should go all the way to the top and work our way down.
Okay. Well, let's talk about the debate.
I think that was more of a
why are we gonna waste our time about a debate that we already know?
It was more of a distraction. I call it a
distraction. I just
think
that anybody that watched the debate and didn't realize the foolery, the overall foolishness, then you could not be alive. Like, each and every one of our mothers would have called our phones and cussed our black asses out from high to low if we had been on TV doing what this man did. Would you agree?
I agree. Yeah. And you know, he didn't come prepared.
I agree.
He come to do exactly what he did because he don't know. He has no foreign policy experience. He has no.
He creates distractions when he don't know.
So, I totally agree. And one of the things we have to understand also is that to a lot of people that was like, I mean, it was disrespectful to one to me, and not because I follow politics, but because I follow policy, and not one. Ooh, I almost said something. Not one individual I had to come back. Not one individual said anything that will remotely affect me as an American, as a veteran,
Right.
as a business owner,
Right.
as a black man.
Right.
I mean, as an educator.
No.
Like nobody
do
said
any of the issues. We didn't
nobody
address
said
any
nothing
issues.
about something that's gonna govern me, and that upsetted me a lot.
That was my whole thing. My whole thing was to get you guys' opinion that, first of all, nobody that you know or I know or any candidate that we would have put forward would have been allowed to evade the issues the way these people evaded every issue turned into a pissing match. We didn't affect any ideology about what your platform is, what your policies are going to be, what your plan is for the future. It was kind of like a pissing match. Like, whose penny is bigger? And I hate to be crass, but I mean, I don't really care about that. I'm not sleeping with either one of you. I mean, y'all need to take care of that in the back room. We need to address the main topics of discussion. I kind of felt like, as a lady, as a woman, this was more about who could be more whatever, but
more testosterone.
The things that are gonna address us and my children and their future. We didn't talk about climate change. We didn't talk about the state of the economy. We didn't talk about reparations. We didn't talk about COVID-19. We didn't get to any of the issues that I want to address as a 38-year-old business owner who have 2 kids that I got living in my house who I'm scared to send back to school. And what about my company that's failing? I didn't hear shit about the stuff that I want to address as a American citizen.
That was the purpose. That's what their purpose was, to do that. It's a distraction. It's all the distraction to take away from something that they don't know.
I totally agree. A distraction.
Because you got to realize a president doesn't have as much power or say so as people think. It's the people that's below him, and even people out here in Beaumont. That's where it starts at. You know, they don't know nothing to talk about because they don't know. The only thing they know is what people tell them. That's it. And nobody didn't tell them nothing that night, apparently. So
apparently,
they told them to argue all night. So
my whole thing.
I left the debate just asking the Lord to let this be the last time I have to vote for 2 old ass white people.
Yes.
I'm just that simple. I don't have to vote for old ass white men never again in my life.
This is the last one, huh?
My next big issue is, I mean, just to take the conversation forward, because y'all know how I do it. What do you guys think that we should do about the stand by and stand back and stand by sentiment? Because here's the thing. I think that was over the line. First thing first, the first law of nature is self-preservation, baby. And I'm going to tell you like this, as a lady, I anticipate protecting my family. I don't know what that meant, but I took an immediate, how something just set you off in a manner that you immediately want to go to the other side of the, like, we ready, knuck if you buck. Have y'all heard knuck if you buck? Maybe I'm too young, but.
No, you ain't. I know what you're talking about.
It kind of took me to a knuck if you buck place. What you want?
I totally like South Indian.
Well, I mean, I think that's still further part of the distraction, because understand what that just did, what you just said, and what he presented. Allowed him to make you feel like crossing the goal line is the ultimate prize. That if I just be able to just fill out my ballot and submit my ballot, I won. No, you haven't.
Right.
And so we looking at all this other stuff. We ready to buck up because he better not stop me from going in and casting my ballot. And he better not do all of this. Well, once you do it, then what?
Right. You better not stop
you're doing what you've been doing anyway.
Right. And this is why my theory has always been, my premise has always been, heads need to roll. It's not enough to elect a president. We need to go down the ticket. If you're not pushing our agenda and pushing our objectives, and you don't represent the things that represent us, I don't care if it's the House, I don't care if it's the Senate, I don't care if it's the Congress, I don't care if it's the DA, I don't care if it's whatever level of government that you may be on. The group that I'm in says that heads need to roll if you don't align with the things that match up to me. Whether you're creating the policies, whether you're implementing the policies, whether you're interpreting the policies, whatever your level of government function may be, you are representing me, or you should be, the people that are voting for you. And if you don't do that, then we need to remove you systematically. Like you, what this system has been designed to do is to let the people speak. And if the people don't speak and the people don't have a voice, then you don't have nothing to say. At the end of the day, some heads need to roll. We need to rally together until we root them out. Every last one of them. It don't matter. We could put in there Joe Blow from the street corner, and he'd have a better sense of what's going on than these people that are in office now.
We got people.
Well,
people locally.
I mean, it's easy to identify the radical ones. Then what about the solid ones who do nothing but show up every Thanksgiving with a turkey for Big Mama, and everybody feels good because hey, he feeding and looking out for the community and everything. He ain't doing shit. We've been seeing this pimp move.
Well,
since before the 60s.
You know, I think that younger people have a system of accountability. I feel like for my group, we need to get a scorecard. I'm all with scoring and scoring somebody up, okay? We're going to put a scorecard next to your name. And when you don't match up to that scorecard, you making a D and an F, baby, you need to go, okay? If we have so many votes that go to so many policies and procedures and events and different things, I don't care about your turkey on Thanksgiving. I care about what you was doing all during the year. And when you don't line up with my expectations, you need to be removed.
I agree.
Period. That goes.
I have no problem with it. I have no problem with it until the community starts saying, "Ooh, LaKenta thinks her little scorecard is the shit," you know. And now all of a sudden, and now they think you wielding power with a scorecard, and all you trying to do is inform folks.
Right.
And all I'm really trying to do is make people accountable to their word. Technically, I just want you to do what you say you're going to do.
And not only hold the elected accountable, but ourselves. We are the reason our government is the way it is. We are the reason that some of our civil liberties are not where we want them to be. Right. And I will also say, just like you said, there are some systematic things that have happened where I know for sure African Americans, we have the stigma of they're gonna do what they want to do anyway.
Right.
They don't do nothing but sit there and make money.
Right.
All they do is make broken promises. I call them, I talk to them, I send them letters, I write, and nothing get done. I'm sick of them. Right. And that's what they want. They want. It's just like me filing for my benefits or any other veteran that's not 100% disabled at the time they ETS. If you ETS and they figure you still got some breath in you, you ain't getting nothing but 30% disability service connected. And that ain't nothing but $300, maybe $400 a month. But every candidate will say, especially a federal candidate will say, "Oh, I look out for the veterans," but here it is. I'm broker than a skunk, and today is the first. Correction, today is the second. How is it that you say you look out for veterans and you have veterans that are homeless? Right. How is it that you say you look out for veterans and we are underpaid, but the cost of living around us is skyrocketing? Right. How is it that you say you look out for veterans, but most of the times you don't do nothing but give us
scraps
and heartache? The largest suicide rate almost in America is veterans, especially between the ages of 21 and 45.
Well, let me ask you guys this. I want to change gears a little bit. Are you ready for this? What about the COVID response and the response that he gave about COVID and how he's handling COVID to the best of his ability and he's the best COVID warrior and all of these different things?
I must have missed that.
Well,
I must have went to the bathroom now, right?
He said he was the COVID specialist and the scientists didn't know what they were talking about and this and that, and he had the greatest people, he handled COVID the best.
Oh, he's always like you never seen it before.
When we were hearing about the novel coronavirus, because that's what it was called at first in December. Right. When we heard about novel coronavirus and the spread, how quickly it allegedly spread in China, just like he said, he want to call it the China virus. Once you knew that, Mr. President, instead of shutting down the government like you did last year, you should have shut down all entry into the United States of America. That's December. I didn't say January, February. I said December. When you found out that this was an epidemic for somebody else and it was spreading too quick, you should have known that it's either already here or I need to shut down all transit into America from outside of this particular hotspot. Period. What do you the same thing that's going on for us right now, where we can't travel to any country outside of the United States of a freaking America because we are a hotspot. And the moment that we hit numbers that were beyond, I guess, measure or acceptance for, other evolved countries, they was like, oh no, we don't want that. We don't want, and they did it quickly.
Well, my whole thing is this: it's disproportionately affecting African Americans. How you doing more for Black people than Abraham Lincoln, and we're the ones that's disproportionately affected by the coronavirus? I mean, I need to line that shit up. I need to line that up.
Hey man, like my big brother just said, you better stop paying attention to the shit that sidetrack you.
Right. I mean, we
is designed to say it's gonna make you react instead of plan.
Right. No, I mean, and that's really where I'm at. I mean, everyone talks about or responds to a reaction.
Right.
My thing is, what happens November, whatever, after 9th, whenever it happens? And not only does Trump win, but Republicans just run the House
and the Senate.
I mean, they run the table. Then what?
We might have to go back to picking cotton or something. They might change.
No. I mean, but that's a very real step, and I think that as long as we keep responding to that, if that reality comes to us, we're gonna be just like Negroes that was coming out of Reconstruction in year 13.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And I tell any and everybody, slavery is but a measure on the ballot. I think I said that on the last show.
Yeah.
Slavery is but a measure on the ballot. It's already a measure in your Constitution that's considered, if you are a criminal, you are considered a slave.
Right.
It's already in your Constitution. So it's nothing to put it on the ballot to make it mandatory that any individual, if you feel just like the propositions that are on the ballot that we don't go vote for, because most of the times we voting for these people. These people have no merit over the proposition that's on that ballot. Right. Once that ballot take hold, if weed is on the ballot as a proposition, right, and you vote for the individual that's against weed, guess what's not gonna pass? Weed.
Right. Weed.
Right. Now, I give you a good example. Here in Florida, they got an amendment coming up in 2018. Marijuana passed. Well, medical marijuana passed.
Right.
And then Amendment 4, which was restoring the voting rights to ex-felons. That's not a big issue in Texas, but it's a big issue here.
Right.
In this upcoming election, they got an amendment. Now, this is straight up thuggery. They got a new amendment coming out that says, oh, if you want to put an amendment up for vote, we're gonna put a measure in place where you have to that measure has to be on 2 ballots, which means if you win the first time, it's gonna come back around and we got to roll it again to see if you're gonna win again. And it's like, what?
Right. If you win one time, what you gotta win 2 times for? Because they hoping that you gonna show up.
You win one time, and so now that gives us another time to reconsider and reframe this argument. And if you can't win the second time, then it's
what do you see us doing to eradicate these things that you guys are saying that systematically we have no control over? I mean, I don't hear
the system is written, sis. You know, just like law is interpreted or practiced. I'm gonna say it again. Law is interpreted and or practiced. Law is interpreted and or practiced. That's by judge or by lawyer and or by DA. It's only interpreted and or practiced. That's why they say he's a practicing attorney, because he's practicing law. If we have the ability to create law, which was at one point in time what they're trying to eradicate from law currently, as what we know as the national health care, or they know it or call it the Obamacare. That's law. That's not, and that took a lot of manipulating words, manipulating already written law. It took a lot. So all we gotta do is write it out, put it in a plan, petition our Senate, petition our judges, petition our legislators, petition these individuals to, hey, I have some legislation or a piece of legislation or something I think you should amend the state constitution, the county or the city charter. Whatever it is, I got a plan, and it's right here. That's all we got to do. And most of the times, we make it seem as if it's so hard because we weren't exposed to those things.
Right.
But that's all it is. That's all they're doing.
So what you're saying is
in the White House
a matter of putting pen to a paper and introducing a bill or some sort of legislation to our representatives that should then present it to the Congress or the House or wherever it's going to go, the Senate, and then they vote on it. But when they strike our legislation down, then we still where we started at.
Let me tell you, they strike our legislation down every session. Every session. Do you not know how many people go to Austin and rally for their bill? Do you not know how many people rally for their law, their amendment to the law? The same way that they get, the same way that my God sister is able in the state of Texas is able to take CBD oil or THC oil in small amounts. I rallied for it. For 4 years, I rallied for it.
Right.
And I went to Austin consistently. I spoke to my state, my direct state representative, Joe Desatel, and I also went to Dave Phelan, and I sat with him. He's not my direct, but hey, you are a door.
Right.
And if you are an elected door, and I know all I got to do, if you are in my district or close to my district, all I got to do is sit and tell you. Here, try this out. It's not that hard, y'all.
Now, let me ask you guys. I'm going to switch gears. Of course I do, all the time.
As always.
I want to switch gears. What do you guys feel about the economy, this COVID economy, and small businesses and education and people that are no longer being whole and trying to figure out whether they should send their families to school or don't send them to school, or their job is gone, they don't have a job anymore, they have evictions they're facing, they have bills that are due, and they have been out of work for weeks and months and whatever the case may be. Donald Trump says that his economy is on the rise and unemployment is improving and all of these different things. I would argue that unemployment is rising. 70 million people, first time unemployment fallers right now. I mean, what are we gonna do to recover from this COVID economy?
I am a victim of it.
Yeah.
To be honest with you,
I think if anything, instead of looking at it as how we gonna get back to something, I'm looking at it more as a clear slate. Right. Since there's no barrier now, let me go out and create.
Let me create.
Right.
And you know, and I think that has to be a time that if we all this talk about our ancestors and our history, well, I think it's time to pull that up out of us.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm back to Chris. No matter where we go with this, it come back to us.
Always.
And so how do we do this? I mean, there was a time we weren't even in the economy. Right. And now we having to freaking talk about how the economy gonna help us. Come on. I mean, you know, it's very serious. I mean, why don't we start looking? Quit arguing with Beaumont. Shit, there's some land somewhere else. Go up there and build cheap.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
Go build
There's a bunch of land out there. I mean, you know what? And we know it's true because we know every time we build something, they come.
And they try to kill it. You know, I was talking to my husband recently, and he said, you know, I think Bevel Oaks is a city of its own, or I think, you know, other little outlying areas have their own mayor and city manager and just different little, not far, but in the proximity that maybe you could govern and change on your own. Well, now we're not
build a charter, right? Create your own charter.
That's all I was about to say. All they did was create a charter.
Yeah.
Right.
And
y'all know I'm the wrong one to get started.
And the county and the state has to recognize their charter. And under their, if it's written within their charter that they hold also elections, then that's what they do.
Right.
You know they're gonna try to get rid of us, right? Y'all know they're gonna try to get rid of us, right?
Oh man, hey, they're gonna have to buffer this video. That's the case.
I was just about to say, you know, they're gonna look at everybody on here and go, "Oh, yeah, we need to get on them and this and this and that, this or that."
Oh, they been on me, so.
Oh, they bet on me too.
I hope they enjoy the ride. But one thing I do want to mention that my big brother did last month. It was a 4-part series about, you know, the importance of not just voting,
right,
but pretty much following your ballot until it comes back to you the following election cycle.
Right.
And that's what I got out of that, big bro. Like, even to the point to where you are not sure that, you know, some of us aren't sure that or can verify that our vote was actually counted.
Right.
And a lot of things that he was, you know, that not only him but his guests were speaking on were very profound, especially for this particular moment. And if you could, big bro, speak on that. Nobody had anything to say right fast.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about suppression in a number of ways. And again, I'm back to where, you know, to the mindset. We feel like if we were able to overcome all of these obstacles and fill out our ballot that we won, but we are finding evidence that even though you may cast your ballot, there's an old law here about voting that's related to land use. and it's very seldom used. But in certain counties, it has to be done, which means that a person who has a certain percentage of land has more of a weight on their vote. Well, a lot of the new voting machines incorporate that because it's a law and they have to be able to account for it. Well, you can turn that feature on whether you're using land use or not. And so basically what it amounts to is that if I can apply weight to a community, then Terry, your vote can be, instead of being a whole vote, it can be 0.4.
Right.
And Tony's vote can, instead of being 1, it can be 1.75. Right. So he has more weight. And then once you apply that to voting,
on how much land that I own.
Right.
Or
well, what it does is it applies.
That I pay. Is it based on the taxes that I pay? Or is
no.
It based on the land that I
pay? See, you're getting into the details
yeah,
of
I was
it.
about to say,
it's just a feature.
Too detailed. It's just a feature on the poll. And
it's just a feature of voting. Right. And they can turn, and if unregulated, they can turn that feature on the machine in a certain precinct. And it weighs the votes in that precinct. So it's a way of manipulating votes. And what they found out is just like everything else, is that the Black community becomes ground zero for those kind of attacks.
Well, my question would be this. Are you guys suggesting that there's a way to verify this? Is this verifiable?
Yeah. I mean, but now getting a company to admit to it.
All 4 sets of the series is on there. All 4 sets of the series is on my page.
Wow.
I will share it too.
Let me just take a moment and process that.
Yes, I'm telling you.
If what you're saying is that I can go to the polls and vote, and my vote not be considered a whole vote, but maybe a percentage of a vote, that's huge. I mean, like, that's monumental on the scale of 1 vote not being 1 vote, but being 50% of a vote or 0.4 of a vote. I mean, that's amazing.
Well, let's go. I mean, before you say that's mind blowing. Remember, 3/5 is where we started, so that's fraction.
Yes.
So let's not act like this is new. In fact, we better make sure that we not 2/5.
Come on, man.
Because that's really where it goes in this. And so
that just sounds like a bunch of doom, though. Damn, you making me feel like, what the hell? Like, I damn near need to move back to Africa after this conversation, because I don't, and even when I get there, they might not like me. What is going to happen? You're taking me to another place right now.
Yeah.
No, and this has been going on for a while, and it has taken a while. And that's why I say Trump, when he talks as off the wall as he does, it's not all crazy.
Right.
He's projecting some real stuff. And so when you look at where the Democrats have gone, and I understand it's a political move to say, to tell the people, calm down, our elections are secure. I understand that's a good move, but you're not being honest.
Yeah.
And so that's why I say, what's going to happen if come after November 3rd, Republicans run the table? What Democrats are going to say? Hold on, something's
and the legislation is surely not going to line up.
Right. No, I'm going to say, welcome to Groundhog Day.
Right. And like one of the things you asked about, or Tony asked about the shit show, was what we thought about it. And that was one of the most intricate things that I heard the orange orangutan say, was that you cannot, how is it that you got poll workers that's not allowed in the poll to verify the count? I'm a victim of that as a candidate, where my poll workers were not allowed into the tabulation area to verify the count. And it's a written form that you have to fill out with these individuals' names, and they're not allowed in the polling location. They're not allowed there. Period.
Yeah, but Trump lied on that one though, because
he may have lied, but there are some lies that, like you said, there's some. It's so much stupid shit that come out of his mouth. Some of it, when you reach in it, you be like, "Oh, it's corn."
Yeah, you gotta have a WAP. You gotta have a WAP mind.
You definitely have to like search the lies, because in the midst of a lie, and there is truth even in a lie. You just have to, like you said, you gotta dig in it.
Yeah.
And he's barking a lot of truth. Just like our governor here in the state of Texas said that on his tweet, they all taken to Twitter, but on his tweet he said that I want to say Gregg County, Texas officials was arrested for voter fraud. When I saw the picture of all the Gregg County elected officials, every last one of them was looking like us right now today.
Right.
And I'm quite sure if they did it in the primary, they did, because in the beginning it says in the primary, the 2018 primary. If they did it in the 2018 primary, these are the same people that was in there when you were seeking re-election, Mr. Governor. So, like I said on my Twitter in response to him, oh, so you must have got in there fraudulently, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
And like my big brother said, when I saw those 4-part series, I was like, from now on, when we get on the show, I got to call him my big brother, because that was like after my own heart, man. You just don't know. I was like, this transparency that our people definitely need to know.
Let's switch gears. Here we go. Locally. Y'all ready?
Oh boy, look at your eyes.
Y'all ready? You've been quiet. Who is this up here? I can't think of his name. Is this Mr. Terry Roy up here?
Yeah, that's Mr. Terry Roy, but it looks like Mr. Terry Roy, but he's
real quiet tonight. Okay.
I'm listening. I'm taking in everything.
I want to talk about locally with the upcoming elections and things that we have coming down the pipe, not just 2020, but 2021 and 2022, things that are coming up. We need to identify what we can do to interpret the law on the local level that's going to affect us on a day-to-day basis, especially as far as education is concerned. Let me tell you what I have been recently encountering. And I told this Angel San Juan, and I told him, I said, as a parent, I'm concerned. I want to address this issue. And you guys can say whatever you want to, but I'm a mother of 2 kids. COVID has changed the way that these students and teachers and all of this is being. The teachers don't have to get COVID testing. If they think they got COVID, they stay home for 14 days. They're not even required to take a test before they come back. You have kids that or being disproportionately tests and homework and different things when maybe they're hungry, maybe their parents are being uprooted and they're being evicted from their place, maybe they're at home with brothers and sisters running around all day and sick or all of these different COVID parts. The school board and the administration has dropped the ball on a lot of levels, talking about opening up band and opening up football and all this and that, but you can't sue them or nothing can happen when your child gets the coronavirus. Just you're responsible to pay that bill. And let's just say they're in the hospital 6 months. Or let's just say that they catch coronavirus while you are pressuring them and furthering them. If you want to play football, then you need to be at this and that, blah, blah. Locally, I have a huge issue that I'm having a problem with about the amount of work, the student-teacher relations, the opening up of football and basketball, the non-testing, the non-compliance with COVID guidelines. And I'm just gonna say I'm all up in arms about what's gonna happen locally as far as education is concerned.
Everything going on locally is all about money. That's why you're having football. That's why you got kids going to school, because the schools get paid when kids go to school. And the more they have in the schools, the more money they get. Everything is about money right now, locally, nationally too. It's all money.
Well, I know in regards to sports, they haven't really talked about it much, but there's a big concern for athletes or kids who had COVID and are now either playing football, basketball, something strenuous, because COVID attacks the bronchial.
It's gonna come back.
I was just about to say, what about the long haulers? What about, let's say this is my son's senior year. Let's say he going to play somewhere else, and now he got this long hauler syndrome that is affecting his lungs and his liver and his kidneys and his this and his that. Then now he can't be who he want to be because we had to play him his senior year to prove a point. All of that is a problem. Or let's say my son is in college and my son plays baseball, which my boy does. And now I want him to sit out, but this is affecting his future because if he catches coronavirus, he got these long haul effects. They are saying that people that have coronavirus have came down with glaucoma and other issues and
memory loss.
Way later on down the line.
I know. I work around. I work with
perplexed about what the long-term effects is by this being the novel coronavirus. How can I?
Nobody don't want to know the effects. The effects are horrible. See, I work in that field and I see it. You have collapsed lungs, kidney failure, blindness, you name it.
Blood clot.
It's horrible. And people think it's all fun and games, the recovery from it, but it's not. That's like opening back up Beaumont. That's not going to be good if it picks up again, because there's still people out here that's sick.
I am utterly vexed.
I'm talking about collapsed lungs. Both lungs collapsed.
Now,
and I'm talking about recovering from corona and not even having it anymore, but still having the effects. I have a friend that had coronavirus, and I'm not talking about far away from home. I'm talking about somebody that I love who still, when she's in the middle of a sentence, can't even remember what she gonna say next because she had COVID, and they call it a brain fog or whatever the hell, whatever that means, and then she don't even know what she's saying next in a sentence.
You imagine having COVID and the next thing you know, you lose both of your legs and your arm. It happens.
Or you got glaucoma onset. Somebody told me something about onset glaucoma.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, now you got coronavirus and all of a sudden you got glaucoma? What in the world?
Yes. It's a lot that people don't know.
Right. And that's one of the things that I try to express and explain to people, even when I was on the news with my mask on, and people was like, Chris, I saw you on the news. How you know it's me and I'm like this with a mask on. How you know it's me? But like even then, I tried to express to people that we didn't know what the novel coronavirus is. We don't know what COVID-19 is, because I look at it like this. If you give it two names, it do two different things.
And not only that, if it do two different things, it do three different things. You got
and one of them you don't even know
that have changed and mutated, rolled into something else, and it's affecting everybody different.
Exactly.
Somebody maybe you can't even gauge what the next person's gonna have and do. So and how can you send kids to school in the middle of this? This is what back to my original question.
It's money.
Just like Mr. Perry said. And Mr. Terry said it's about money. School districts don't get money. Well, school districts do not get money or do not receive funding for no butts in the seat.
Yep.
They
Let me
to
got
get
tell
to
so
you.
much
have butts in the
a
seat.
seat.
I don't
Let
care
me
how
tell
many
you.
students you gave an iPad to. I don't care how many students you gave a MacBook to. I don't care how whatever you gave them. If their butt is not in the edifice, the facility does not get funding.
Let me tell you what else I ran into. You got first grade teachers who are saying, I can't teach first grade without touching them. I can't teach a child how to hold a pencil to learn how to write without touching their hand. Do I want to touch their hand? We're not doing any testing. How do I know that I want to get on this level with this small child and knowing that I may be putting my life at risk and my family's
Yeah,
life at risk?
yeah,
That's not cool.
yeah.
You expecting educators to put caution to the wind and go out and be in this place to receive the children that may come, but she can't do her job without touching these kids. You
Right.
can't teach kindergarten and first grade and pre-K without touching them.
Especially if it's not hands-on. I mean, even volunteering in a lot of schools throughout the district. I mean, most of the interaction that, especially younger, you know, grade levels, it's hands-on interaction, building blocks, different things like that. You know, that they use not only in pre-K, kindergarten, first, second, or third grade, but these are some of the teaching tools that they use as well. Just like y'all remember the pencil that was about this here big until you learned how to write with a smaller number 2 pencil. I mean, so I'm concerned. I'm definitely concerned about it, and one of the main reasons I'm concerned about it is because, like I said, I've been volunteering in this school district for several years, and a lot of our parents within this city, and I'm not, we talking local. A lot of parents within this city have expressed of pre-existing conditions like
Right,
asthma, bronchitis,
right.
uh,
Diabetes, high
leukemia, some
cholesterol.
type of cancer, some type of diabetic, situation, some type of
Pre-existing
issue that
conditions that make
compromises
you
the
more
immune
apt to
system.
get it.
Right. So why would you allow the children who may not automatically in the beginning sense or have symptoms come back home to somebody that may be of the senior population,
And there's no testing requirements for BISD currently. I
especially
have
in BISD,
spoken
because
to
there's
people.
no, and I don't know if y'all have seen, even some schools have went to the wristband. Some schools have even sports have went to the wristband.
But you cannot have it today and catch it tomorrow. So them wristbands don't mean shit. I mean,
Exactly, but
I could get COVID
it
today.
at least gives you a proximity. That's what the wristband does. It lets the whatever server know who you've been by, who you could probably contracted it from, and who you probably passed it on to. That's what the wristband does.
Well, I mean, but this also points to, I mean, we talk about policy.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yes. This
we talk
definitely
about
equates to
policy,
policy.
but the implementation becomes an even bigger issue. My wife is a contact tracer here in Florida, and the first thing they did was they went out and hired a bunch of folk because the pay was good. And she's been laughing about it because you had all these people who claimed they was coming from corporate America and doing all this stuff. These people can't write simple case notes.
Right. They hire
And so,
whoever.
right. And so while on one hand you got people saying, well, we putting people to work and we got all these caseworkers, she can tell you now they've had to fire several folk because they fired some people because they realized some folk couldn't even read. Because here in South Florida, we got an immigrant community, and so you
Right.
need bilingual people, but Spanish speaking people talking to someone who speaks predominantly English, it's no telling what you're gonna get in your case notes.
Right.
And so now when you think about that, and when you think about the kind of people that they went out and hired, I mean, you just got contract tracers in name only and very few evidence case. And that's what I'm saying. We have to look at government. You know, you talk about the city, and nobody's talking about the workers.
Right.
And I'm not trying to point a finger at them, but we do have to look at it and say, well, how is some of this cronyism? Is some of it just a lack of good management style? I don't think we even do that kind of assessment on our county departments.
Right.
And it's needed. I mean, COVID has proven that our government institutions are paper thin, and the bureaucracy doesn't help it.
Right. And full of bureaucracy.
You know,
that's why I say I don't follow politicians or politics. I follow politics to a certain extent, but when you get to that going back and power back, no, it's already written, it's already proven. You know what I'm saying? Hypothesize, just like they taught us here we go again, just like they taught us in middle school. Come up with a scientific solution. It don't have to be scientific if it doesn't involve science, but if it makes sense logistically and on a civil plane where individuals are not griping about, oh, you're snatching my civil liberties, and if you can produce some legislation that can, I mean, legislation gonna have to be produced anyway. We see it with you know what they're doing in Washington. We see what has happened in the state of Texas during, if y'all remember, during H1N1 swine flu. We had none of this, but it was a real live epidemic happening.
Right, for sure,
you know?
for sure.
But we had no shutdowns. We didn't have the people that tested positive.
Well, first we had a task force for pandemics that was working on the numbers and what needed to be taken care of, that was disbanded when this
orange orangutan
came to power.
Yeah. No, but okay. So let me change the gears on this. And again, it's back to voting. How much in-reach do you think is really happening in our communities? I mean, we all know we voting, but I can't vouch for first cousins.
Well, I'm gonna say this. For me, personally, what I have been trying to do is the people that talk to me, LaDONNA Sherwood, I light into their whole soul about it. About drugs, about marijuana, about the DA, about it. You know, the people that I know, I reach them on the level that I can reach them on, and I pride myself on being that type of person, because no matter what I know and how I feel, I have to talk to people on the level that they understand and about issues that feel directly to them.
Right.
For me, I got about 50, 60, 70 people that I'm bringing to the polls on the strength of them 200 judges that Trump have appointed. Like I told them, the people is going to decide your sentence. You can do whatever you want to, but I know you black. If you get caught in the middle of a situation where you should not maybe be in, the leniency queue ain't gonna be towards you. And the reason for that is because nobody stops him. So in the future going forward, make it your business to get down there, simply because when your brother, when your sister, when your uncle, when your cousin, when your friends, when your family members go before the judge, you want the judge to have some type of understanding about why you doing what you're doing. You might not be right or wrong, but maybe they can have some leniency on giving you an opportunity. Some of this is marijuana related. You need to get somebody in these positions that understand the change in what we need as far as marijuana legislation. If you got somebody in there that's talking about, oh well, legalizing weed is gonna be a gateway drug and it's gonna create this and that, and blah blah blah, and they want. But then we got problems in that department. Do you want that? And that's what I asked them. What do you want for your future? Would you like to be able to go into the store and buy you a weed cigarette legally without any problems? Or do you want to have to sneak and buy weed and worry about your weed man going to jail? I mean, these are the kind of conversations that we have to have, because
I want my weed man working in the place.
Okay.
I
In fact, I want him. No, in fact, I want him owning.
Okay, in the facility that he owns, with growers that he hired, and he might be smart. He might know.
Right.
He might know how to get the best bud ever, and we
Yeah. But here's what I'm saying though. Really, in terms of inReach though, I think we kind of give friends and people in our circle a pass. We'll talk about voting, but
don't hold them to it.
Can we really have a good, honest discussion where somebody can tell me, hey man, you know what? I couldn't vote the last time, or I'm having a problem, or I can't vote. I got some friends who on paper, they can't vote. Right. I didn't know they were on paper.
Yeah.
Became a touchy subject. It makes it even more, of a push. So we have the people in our circle, but we keep talking about the people who really can make a difference. And those are people that's deep in the hood. And I don't know anybody going to them. I don't know anybody going to the homeless. I don't know anybody going to them folk who sleeping in their car, And so when we can have that really kind of heart-to-heart conversation where we can talk about your issues, and I can kind of help you say, well, look, man, I know voting doesn't seem like the key to this, but it is the ignition to kind of help change this up, because just like you saying, I'm going through too much pain for me to take it on my own. Where can I help distribute this pain? Yes. I need to push some of this pain back on some folk who really trying to, because it's some rich white folk who worrying right now. You know what? I want to put some more pain on their ass.
Right.
And I pride myself on, people get mad at me. Why you always talking about you ratchet? Why you always say you with the hood? You know why? Because that is the underserved community. When if I run for something, I'm not coming to you as a perfect person. I don't have a perfect background. I don't have a perfect story. I got a whole bunch of stuff, that obstacles that was stacked against me too. But guess what? I'm not going to allow that to be the reason why I don't try to reach you, and why I don't try to do. I'm an imperfect person, but I'm perfect to represent you. I'm very imperfect. I have a lot of issues that I'm dealing with, but I'm perfect to talk about the issues that's affecting all of us. This particular group, I got this group covered. You know what I mean? And that I feel like that's important. The homeless group, the group that can't vote, the group that might be on paper, the group that might be trying to get their life back on track. That's the group that we push aside and don't worry about, because we're like, oh, the older people vote. Oh, the people that have more at stake vote. But these are people too. There are people nonetheless, and they vote count, or we hope that it counts as for a whole vote, instead of a half a vote or a quarter of a vote. But either way, I'm that person that will say the hood matters to me. The hood ideology matters to me. It don't matter if it's flawed. Let me put it into some terms where they can understand what we're saying. You might say it one way, and people might look at you and think, what the hell are they talking about? But I may be able to put it in another way where now you can understand that the hood have purpose. The hood do have purpose. It's honor amongst thieves. You can say whatever you want to, but we got a system that we use. It just may not be a system that's accepted.
Right. Yeah. No, and we have to also be careful. I heard a guy give me an analogy. It was like, man, you ever wonder why Jehovah's Witness can always win in the hood and not church people? Because Jehovah's Witness go in and they try to tell you what Jehovah can do for you to impress your life. They say church people come in and condemn it.
Right.
Yep.
Both trying to get you to the same place. Well, not really, but they both trying to win you
I'd at
over.
least win you over.
And so I'm saying when we right, so when we go in to talk to people about voting who are not just strangers to voting, but just strangers to the system itself.
Right.
They're enslaved strangers.
Right.
You know, and so how do you begin to have that kind of conversation? Because you can't come in talking about policy and legislate about date, man.
They
That
ain't ready to hear
No,
that.
and I always tell people you got to make it plain that a fool that not error. So
and
you
most
got
of
to
the
make
time
it
this-
plain where you can get down on somebody's level. And you know, I look at some of my interviews with the news and different things, and I'm always rooting for the hood. So sometimes my interviews don't come across all that great, but the people that I know be calling me like, girl, you killed it. And I be thinking, Lord, I probably should have said this or that or this or that. But the people that I'm trying to reach, they get me.
Yeah.
Well, this is what we call, what we always talk about all the time, is that we've got to continue to educate. We have to continue to educate. We know who needs it. We just got to get like the Jehovah Witness. We need to go into the. We
And
need to go
compel
to
them.
them and educate them. You know, educate them on suppression.
And talk.
Educate them. Yeah, educate them what they can do to you. Educate them. We got to educate our community, our people in our community,
Yeah.
and
And
that's
talk
most important.
plain.
And
You know, a
plain, make
lot
it
of it
plain
is
for
talking
them.
plain.
Yes,
You
make
can't
it
go
plain
into
for them.
the hood
Right.
talking about this and that and blah, blah, blah. You got to talk in
And you know,
plain.
But
we talk
even with
about
that, most
voting.
people don't pay attention to vote. And I will say I'm a very humbled individual to have known AJ before he ran for public office, because I knew the draw that AJ had for the younger generation. And that's one thing that we, just like Perry said, what about those that are not you know, affluent when it comes to voting? And one of the largest gaps that we have, especially here in Beaumont, is the 18 to 24 or 18 to 30 age range that are not voting.
Right.
And those individuals are disconnected because of some of the same reasons that 26 to 45 is disconnected.
A
Mhm.
lot of those individuals that age have left Beaumont.
Right. And if we're still
Yeah.
here, we've seen some of these same elected officials and some of these same elected positions not only deceive us as adults, but deceive my mom as when I was a child, deceived her
Mhm.
when she was a child, and deceived the grandmother when she was a child. So it's continuous, and that's one of the things that I guess is, as far as reasons why you have, individuals
Heads
like
need
me
to
and
roll.
LaDonna going to the hood and saying, hey, this is on the ballot. Oh man, I don't want to hear that. Hey, listen, let me tell you how it's on the ballot and break it down, like she said, into its lowest denominator, so that now you are not only in fear of who get in office, but you are compelled to make sure that you
Right.
as an individual are represented in not only
And
that
bring
particular
some people
office.
with you. Bring
Yes,
some people
yes,
with you. Because you got
yes.
some people that's in your age group or in your household that don't want to
Right.
vote either, who think just like you. So once I teach you, you go teach them. That's what I've been telling these people. It don't matter what I tell you. Go tell that to your family now. Your family.
I asked a lot of people in the hood that, if our current elected officials, especially one in particular, if our current elected officials were, in their face, in the neighborhood, in the community, did you see them? And they're like, nah, man, this mother sucker better not come to the hood. This mother sucker better not show his face out here, or her face out here, or their face out here. You have deprived. And I'm like, wait, look, let's stick with a different plan. Let's stick with a different person. we've been voting for the same name for a long time, and we see that the same name or the same plan has gotten us nowhere but right here. So how about we
Heads gonna
come
roll.
together and we produce a plan that we could present to this door right now. And if this door don't open to our plan, then we have somebody that's locked, cocked, and ready and equipped and educated to take their seat. Like you say, LaDonna, heads gotta roll. You insufficient? Come sit down with the rest of us.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's have a
We have
ceremony.
to
A
I'm
let
just
sitting
a
people
Game
down
of
know.
ceremony.
Look, I'm a Game of Thrones girl. I think in the Game of Thrones, either you win or you die. So hey, heads gonna roll. That it is what it is.
Well,
Yeah.
we've always talked about voting, and we talked about this before over and over again. And it starts from the top. We're gonna vote from the top, but the most important thing is bring it all the way down to the local.
I
It
beg
comes
to differ.
starts
I
right
beg
here.
to differ. I
And
beg to differ, Tony.
what's that?
And the reason I beg to differ is because if you vote from the bottom up, from your mayor to your judges in your county, to your state rep, to your district rep,
Right.
your rep in DC, all of those individuals are already in place with my plan. So it wouldn't matter who you put in there as a national representative. My plan is already supported from the bottom up, me up to you, because most of them feel that they are above us as citizens and as representatives in the African American community. Don't vote from the top down. Vote from the bottom up. Hold your mayor close to you and make them do what it is you elected them to do. Hold your county sheriff, just like we boldly and boastfully represented these and support these elected officials that you just showed. That's where it starts. And then, as you have built that representation, as you have built that standard of representation, you are not going to elect nobody from Joe Desatel on up that's not that standard, including the president.
And I agree with you. I've said I agree with you. I said it wrong.
I agree.
I meant that it's just so much important at the bottom than it is
Very
at the
important.
top.
Very important.
Right. It's so important. And I said it wrong, but I was meant that when you're at the top, we've got to vote at the bottom, right here.
Yeah.
And then we go all the way up.
Absolutely.
Because
the only reason things not working out here in Beaumont is because everybody sitting up there has different agendas. And as long as you got people with different agendas, you're gonna have the problems Beaumont got.
Right.
Everybody has a different agenda.
I totally agree.
Nobody's on the same page.
Not even the city manager has a progressive agenda.
Nobody.
I mean,
Nobody.
you who is nonpartisan. I mean, this entire city representation is said to be nonpartisan, but you could obviously see that it is.
It is.
So it's, I mean, like, we could at least be progressive. That's not, representing a particular party or a particular ideology.
Look at the bickering in the meetings. Look at the bickering in the meetings. What kind of meeting is that?
Man,
you have kids fighting
the other night on the
that's the same thing.
That's why it wasn't nothing new to me, because I see this almost every Tuesday
I expected it.
at 1:00.
Yeah.
I mean,
now you want to trip them up. Ask them, what's your future for what is your future for the next 5 years for Beaumont? What's the future for the next 10?
Yes.
And
if you can't answer me,
they have Big Brother.
If you can't give me an answer for 5 years, then why you here?
They have sold us
5 minutes.
Right.
They have sold us out. You have so many residents that have received.
They don't know what it is for 5 minutes, Pig.
Wait a minute.
It's not even, nobody has presented them with their overall plan. Nobody told them what the plan was.
Hey, this is why I'm so high on, and I know they're not gonna like it, but this is why I really want to bring that to the table up on Tuesday at council. It's time for term limits.
Man,
voting
is term limit.
That's
Voting
what
is
they say.
definitely a term limit.
Voting
But
is
they know.
term limit.
When
But
you
they know
when you
Beaumont's
don't
not
have
gonna
faith
vote.
in the count,
No, I'm just. I know it sounds duplicitous, but I'm just saying, you know, at some point when we start talking term limits, then people just get in there for the short ride and do the little hop skip.
Yeah.
They not committed either, and so I don't mind voting for anybody that's showing me that they're committed to being in there. First of all, I think if you really about something, you're not
it
gonna
would
want to be
show.
in that position more than 10 years.
10
Right.
years.
Right.
Yeah.
And not only that, but
I
you
have
should be.
I have not held a professional job. I have not held one job with one company for 10 years.
Well,
In
not
my
only that,
life,
even
I
if
have
you
not
do,
stayed.
you should be advancing. I feel like this, anything that ain't growing is dead. You shouldn't be
Right.
doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over and over and over. Anything that ain't growing is dead, baby.
Right.
That's like why you think they all sitting up there for so long? Because they don't know nothing else.
Let me say
Right.
this.
Nothing
I'ma
else but
say it again. They're
mediocrity.
sitting up
Continuously
there for
growing.
so
I
long
consider
because
They
myself
don't
to
that's
know.
be
what
a life learner. You should be
that's what your puppet
continuously
master that
expanding your
wants.
portfolio, changing what you do, how you do, for who you do it, and broadening your horizons. If you just sit down doing that for the same amount of time, then we need to check you again. Heads need to roll, baby. You need to get on.
Right. Right.
Time to
And
get off.
not just the city, the
That's just the
county.
city, county.
Yeah, county too. It's time to get
The
off the
county.
street.
You know, and not only that, another thing that I feel literally betrayed by is that the people that have held these jobs refuse to have an apprentice. They refuse to have somebody they will help and
They're comfortable.
Understudy.
prime and prep
Something.
to hold
Right.
the torch and carry it on. Instead,
Somebody to
you stay there
cultivate.
150 years and you don't want nobody else to make none of that money or make no change.
I don't want none. I don't want
I don't want
another
no money.
reincarnation of now one of them. No.
Right.
Right.
I don't want.
I don't need you mentoring shit. Need you to get out.
One of the things they was like, well, Chris, why you don't get such and such to mentor you? I was like, you see what state we in right now? If they
Right.
mentor me, I'm gonna have the same mindset.
I mean, not just that, but at least even if you're coming in with
Give me some
brand new,
exposure.
fresh
I mean,
ideas.
like, sis, I know where you at.
Yeah.
Give me some exposure.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If
Right.
I bring
Just
myself
put me
to the
up.
table,
Don't try to tell me what to say. Just give me
Right.
give me a place and let me do the talking. Let me talk.
If I have an inquisition about it, don't put me off to the side and leave me out. Not only making you look stupid, but making me and everybody else behind me look stupid.
Or putting other people up that do not reflect nothing that you yourself would be doing. You put somebody else in the damn job that don't even look like you or me. Now we in a real big disaster.
Well, I mean, and another part, I mean, I would also say, have you all looked at the budget for your leaders? See where they've spent their budgets?
Well,
Had they spent it with the black press? Had they spent it with black businesses? I mean, I'm not just about your policy. All of you all have a budget when you come in office. Where are you spending your money in the community?
They don't.
Well, according to the city
It's
of
not
Beaumont,
locally.
it's supposed to be spent equally and not equitably. So Perry, being that you are
baby, that West End is way more than the hood.
Beaumont,
you can believe that.
You visited within the past 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
I'm quite sure you know what the street condition is on the east side, and a lot of people don't know this, but on the east side of the city, you can definitely tell that you are in what we know as the hood, or what they call the dilapidated areas, or what the feds call the concentrated areas.
Mm-hmm.
And those areas lack funding, they lack development from the county, as well as beautification from the city. So I mean, it's perpetuated, if you ask me. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
Regardless to if the money if it's spent equally in each ward and not equitably, then something ain't right. The money ain't going where it needs to go.
Right.
And
But then even in your ward, if you aren't supporting businesses, in your ward,
Yeah.
then right, I'm with you on the equally in equity part. But what little money you got, if you not investing it back in the area that you
And
represent,
they're not, big bro. They
And
waiting
that
on
matters too.
hurricanes.
And
They
that
went to
matters too.
hurricane
That's
money.
Hurricanes,
where
natural
education comes
disasters.
in. Because sometimes, like he said, he went to Shabebe today. I didn't even know what Shabebe was. So some of it, we have to become abreast of where we're spending our money in. And I try to buy black all the time, but we don't. We got to be sure we're advertising. We got to be sure that we're sharing. That we got a lot of work to do.
Buying black is fine. But once you consolidate black, if y'all gonna do it, y'all gotta consolidate. And when I say consolidate, I mean don't spend your money on nothing that ain't black. And if it ain't black, don't spend it, because 9 times out of 10 they're not supporting black. Now that is definite. They're not a distributor of
One
black.
more time. Slow down. Wait, one more time for the Negroes in the back. Can you slow down?
You have to
Slow
consolidate.
down.
We definitely have to consolidate and conserve. That's two of the things that we can't do. We are not doing right now, that several different people within the race of America is participating in: consolidation and conservatism. If we consolidate to ourselves, we're only spending amongst ourselves. And if we are conservative, anybody that wants from us got to pay us. There's no middleman. No, it's us. And then this money that they just paid us, or this service that they just paid us, is bonded by contract. Period.
Yeah.
Then you keep running that contract. All you do is renew
Guess
a
what?
contract for a certain amount. And if they so choose to change the price, then they go forward.
Guess what? I have news for you. My mother has been a farmer's agent for 30 years.
Wow.
Farmers, one of the big 3. Do you realize people will get the same farmer's insurance from somebody else than to get it with a black woman? The same farmer's insurance, the same company, it's got the same policy when you submit it, whatever. But
LaDonna, I had a friend tell me about a guy whose tire, he had blew his tire. He was an Asian guy. He blew his tire. He saw a tire shop, pulled in the tire shop, saw that it was black owned, pulled out of the tire shop, rode down another mile or so, pulled into the tire shop to get his tire changed. And the reason he did it is because the people were black.
Hey,
and we do it. We do it too, though.
Hey,
we definitely
do it to us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Hey.
can have the same agent, black, white, Chinese. The black people will go with the white, and the Chinese people over a black person with the same company.
Yeah.
Mind you, same
like
policy, everything.
And they do it as if I could charge you something different than they would. No, this is
the premium is going to be the same. Only the agent that is servicing the policy is black.
Right.
I just, sometimes.
Like I said, once we conserve and consolidate, or consolidate and conserve, I mean, we have to understand that we are in, just like what we saw on the stage. It was a game. Who can outspeak and compel and attract the most individuals?
No, who could carry on the most?
That's what it was. I mean,
the only reason
the
only reason it's hard for us to succeed is because there's too many of us that are bought and sold. That's why. Too many of us bought and sold.
Wow.
Come on, say
That's
it.
just
One
the
more
bottom
time.
line. We
One
bought,
more
time.
One
more time for the Negroes in the back.
Bought and sold. They think that you're doing good when you go the other way.
Bought
You're not.
and sold.
You're just being bought and sold.
Look,
that's all.
Don't sue me because I don't know.
And that's what everything, elections, everything, especially elections.
Guess what?
You watch the foolery that's gonna happen this time. Watch.
It's gonna be some
People you
foolery.
ain't never
well,
seen
y'all
before.
remember
Like, where did he
between
come
Bush
from?
and Gore?
Yeah.
Bush Gore in Florida, rather. Bush Gore in Florida.
Yeah, you just got to stop being bought and sold and realize you got the power all by yourself.
I'm excited.
You know?
I'm excited about
All right,
I'm
guys.
definitely excited.
Our time is up. Our time is up. You know, and the old man got to get him some rest.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
shit.
Yeah,
same
I was
here,
just about
Tony.
to say, I'm
Ooh,
excited about
I'm
the
in the
future,
ropes right
regardless of what
now,
it looks
and we
like.
started
But
early. But
I'm
anyway,
definitely
guys,
excited about the future,
great hour
regardless
and a
of what it looks
half,
like
and
currently.
yeah, and we hit
Go
on
vote,
all
people.
we hit on some of the buttons, and we missed a few buttons for tonight. But I want to let the viewers know that we have make sure you watch it. Stay tuned to us on Sunday with Javon Pollitt,
Yeah.
Jefferson County Constable. And I found something here today. Let me see if I can post that up. There we go. There's your Jefferson County Democrats that need your vote. Make plans to vote early, October the 13th through the 30th of the month to vote along lines. We're going to be voting for these people. We're going to be putting all our efforts in trying to help and get our people elected. And like we talked earlier, it starts down here local.
Yes.
So let's keep it going, and let's go out. The Democrats, let's go out and vote like we never voted before. We need your support, and I'm always ask that you do that at all times. And like we say, bring 7 people with you. Bring 7 people with you. Wherever
One
you
thing to say before we go, Tony.
Yes,
Want
sir.
everybody to remember that October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
Yes.
So
Get those
always try to
checked.
I got mine. So
Rock
everybody
your
go out
pink.
and get them
Real
something
men
pink.
rock pink.
You know, that's
Save
an honor.
the tatas.
Yeah.
Save the tatas.
Ladies, get those puppies checked. Yes. Hey, what a great evening, man. I enjoyed you guys. It's a shame that we only get together once a month.
No, it's not a shame because then it be compelled. I'll be like, I'm looking forward to first Thursdays.
First Thursday
I'm
of
not
each
lying,
month,
bro.
guys.
I'll be
And this is
looking
what we
forward to
call the
first
round.
Thursdays.
Every Thursday, we call this the round table. Every first Thursday of each month, we call this the round table.
Right. Don't have everybody looking for us on Thursday.
We like for everybody to come in and join us and also link in into the show and
ask some questions. Pick a topic. Start a topic.
It's an open show.
Yeah.
So don't be scared. I know you're out there.
Don't say nothing if you get booted because you talking stupid.
Yeah, don't.
We're gonna let you talk stupid. We're gonna get your ass together.
That's what I was talking about. I'll take that. Don't say that, you get your ass.
Also, go out to vote, and we need volunteers, and we need poll watchers. I mean, not poll watchers. We need poll workers, and we need volunteers at the poll itself. We hope that you come out and volunteer in some of these positions. Again,
take a stroll to the polls.
And we're gonna have a stroll to the poll.
Yes, indeed. I'm telling y'all now. I'm gonna start mine from Charlton Pollard Elementary to Jefferson County Courthouse.
Bring the whole neighborhood.
Y'all gonna stroll downtown?
Yep, from Charlton Pollard Elementary.
Well, wait, that's a long walk now. Wait,
that's not a long walk. That's not a long walk. That's really not a long walk. I remember in the day when living in the South End, we would walk to downtown. Oh my!
Wait. Maybe we can start right at the edge, somewhere on the corner.
No.
Something like that.
No.
I don't know.
What's wrong with y'all now? Y'all don't like to walk. Y'all need to walk.
We can start at Mike's.
But look, we didn't have a nickel to catch the city bus. We can walk.
Yeah.
Pay the bills.
Yeah, man. Or we can start at Pipkin Patriot Park, being that it's it's closer.
There you go.
Pipkins Patriot Park, where Mike Getz wanted to put the trees in his soldier.
Let's do that. Let's do that.
Exactly.
Well, we got other polling places, locations, so we can have one.
I'm excited. We want to do a stroll to the poll.
We can march to the poll from
All right.
From BU to the polls, you know, Beaumont
From
United,
Beaumont United
to the polls.
yeah,
Yep.
to
Yeah.
Theodore Jones.
Right down from there.
Right. We're gonna have a
Or
stroll to the poll on a Saturday morning.
From PV to the pole.
That's right. Meet us at the parking lot.
PV to the pole.
Let's go
Find
to
you
the
some. Find your person that we had a black-owned coffee shop. They can sell coffee if we had one.
If
you know,
if got
you know, I've been telling my husband about that though. See, that's the kind of stuff that I talk about.
Because not everybody drink coffee.
Me too.
The majority of everybody drink cocoa.
Oh, and
coffee, cocoa, whatever, pastries,
and also,
and do poetry. I've been telling him, I'm thinking about that. That's in my wheelhouse.
Yeah, and also
I'm gonna have to hit you up, LaDonna. Look at check
and
your.
we're gonna be live at the polls too. You know that. So we're gonna be live at the polls. I'm gonna be going car to car. We're gonna talk to folks.
You know what? I told Chris, I'm thinking about taking L&L transport, which we do. I do medical transportation every day, all day, taking their ass to the polls. You want to go to the doctor? When you get through, we're going to take it to the polls.
Now, you might need to take them to the poll before you go to the doctor.
No, not before. Not before.
Get them up early.
Yeah, but listen. And also, please, people, again, mask up.
Yes.
Because,
Put your mask on. We can do anything with those masks on.
It's real deal. Even though you might not recognize nobody with these masks on, and you know, I remember I went to the county courthouse today to bring some mail-in ballot. I mean, not mail-in requests, and everybody had their masks on, and I didn't recognize nobody. I couldn't because you know the mask they didn't recognize me either. You know.
That's how I was at the meeting the other night, LaDonna. I was like,
I had a cousin. She done messed up. She dated this guy that had his mask on and kind of found out she fell in love with him. Found out he only had 5 teeth in his mouth.
Let me tell you, you know what? Jokey joke, but the CDC is recommending that young people that have sex have it with the mask on. So put the mask on.
Wear your mask and your second mask.
All the masks.
And if you need a second mask, I got 2 boxes. I am a distributor. I got 2 boxes. Holla at me. I got gold rappers.
Recommending that
be claiming they gold rappers and stuff.
Mask up during sex. I'm not joking. On a serious note.
Yeah, they did. And you can pass. It has also been scientifically proven that you can pass COVID through semen. So again, like LaDonna said, put your mask on, and I got your Jimmy hat.
2 times. Mask up 2 times.
Mask up 2 times.
All right, guys.
Don't start it, Tony. It's the round table. You said we can
Man.
Y'all wild tonight. But anyway, we touched on a lot of bases. We touched on a lot of
I love y'all watchers.
Yeah. But you know what? We're gonna do this again first Thursday next month, which we'll be doing. I guess that's after the first. No, that would be during the election, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll be back again. And
we might be able to go from a polling spot like LaDonna said. We'll go from the round table.
I think that we should.
A polling spot.
Because if the poll is going to close at 7, well, we may be able to do it. I don't know, but maybe we can work it out where they're going to close at 7 on our next.
Or how about we just we randomly go live from the podcast.
Start early.
From the Facebook page.
Right.
Okay.
We can start early because if we start early, then we'll be able to pull in the voters and all of that on our.
Well, let's do this. I can stay here and we can do it live, and each one of y'all be at a certain
location.
Yeah, you could be there.
Location. And we can do that for about that evening from 5 to 7 to close. But I am going to take Knowledge is Power on the road, and I've got equipment.
I'm here for that.
Yeah, I have equipment now that we can go on location and visit with people and encourage them to come out and vote.
That's dope.
And what we might need to do is go into those apartment complexes and talk to people Get them out to vote. Get them out to vote. It's a shame that we can sit across the street from the voting location and look at those.
And won't even go.
There's no movement towards the
Yep.
voting polls. But those are people. Those are the ones who living on the system.
Perhaps.
Okay, so
Perhaps.
Sometimes.
perhaps.
Don't y'all start that. We don't want
Yeah.
to generalize.
Yeah.
Right.
You can't. You can't.
Again,
Because
that's
you
also
never know.
affected by
You
a
never
vote.
know.
Y'all better go your ass out and vote.
That's right.
She can be modest
That's
as she
right.
won't.
That's
Your
right.
food stamps is affected by a vote. Your public housing is affected by a vote.
That's right.
Your Section 8 is affected by a vote.
That's
Your
right.
HUD is affected by a vote.
That's right.
The interest rate of the home you mortgaging is affected. Y'all better come on here now.
Yeah.
And don't vote for the bought and sold.
Hey, man.
Don't vote for the bought and sold.
I am so glad to be with you guys tonight. Let me tell you, I was looking forward to this all day. I had a list of stuff that I want. I didn't get to everything on my list, but baby, I was like, let me ask him about this. Let me ask him about that. And then by me being the only female, I said, I got to question these guys and make sure
that they are
know that I'm here for it. Just let you guys know that I'm really invested in what's going on. I'm not just out here being a pretty face. I'm here for it.
You was checking our intelligence because all of us got bald heads almost.
You speak for yourself. You speak for yourself.
Look, Tony, like, no, not me.
You speak for yourself. But
y'all have a good night. I love y'all.
Y'all do have a good night. I enjoyed it, and I enjoyed you, and all our viewers. We have so many viewers that's watching the show now. And when we started this, 6 months ago, and we have so much going, and we want to continue to educate our community.
I remember Tony wanted to stop.
I remember that.
I remember
That's what I just chuckled at. I just chuckled at how he wanted to stop.
I'm so glad that he didn't, because somebody like me, people are really starting to reach out to me, and they're like, I just love your energy. I like, the questions that you pose. I have people that are calling me and inboxing me outside of this. So he's created a platform for somebody like me, and I'm truly grateful. Tony, I'm
just
grateful.
Didn't know what he was doing.
And I love you because people are getting to see a different side of LADONNA. And I don't think I would have gotten to do this if you didn't do what you're doing. And I'm
totally agree.
I know.
I totally agree.
Really, it's. At one time I wanted to give up, because I didn't think I was making a difference in someone's lives,
You are, bro.
And so I'm thank God that he guided me and opened that door.
That's the only person that needs the glory, to be honest.
That's it.
To God be the glory.
I'm so proud,
else.
I'm proud of you for sticking with it, because I wouldn't have this opportunity. And it almost brings me to tears because I'm grateful. I'm grateful that people.
I think I might have saved that text message you had.
As am I. You just don't know, like you said,
no, he's all right.
Give you the opportunity to say a lot, and reach not just my age group and younger or older, but just to be able to reach my community and expose not just things that we should be in tune with, but things that were originally a part of our culture.
That's right.
Because sometimes all it takes is, a few people to change things. Like the 5 of us that's on here, that's all it takes. It don't take 100 people.
Giving people a different news perspective, because I think we the news of the hood. We are the news of the hood. Ain't no other hood news channel that you can tune into. Information about what's going on and where you should be and who you should be messing with and why and what's going on. We it. I'm the local news, baby. I'm like third of the world, Craig.
Because others are watching.
Yes,
watching what you say and what we do.
I hope they get enlightened too.
Yes. Oh, they are. They're scared. They're scared.
They don't want us to communicate.
No, they
want us to fight. Not on an enlightening level. Anytime you got video and you show us acting a goddamn orange orangutan, then they ready to say something.
Yeah.
But the moment the orange orangutan get to acting an ass,
then
they ready to take it off of the TV.
Right. It's a lot of things that we really haven't touched on.
No,
lot.
we haven't. We really haven't.
Some important things like
I
Right.
like
have a list
the
Right.
of
flooding,
things that
Right.
I wanted to
like
address
flooding.
tonight.
Yeah.
It's
And
a
we
lot.
might have got to 3 of them.
Well,
I
you know
want to
what?
talk.
And you know what? I had 6 topics items that I want to
For
talk
tonight,
about, and never got to them. So maybe
man,
we.
that voting and election stuff really hit the conversation for the day, because
Yeah.
and not because of, you know, we're growing close to making a national decision, and a county decision, but because we see everybody targeting the black vote but us.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
I see everybody target the black vote but the black folk. And the
So
Because
only
just
way the
like back
black
in the
folk
day,
gonna
like
come
back in
up
the
out of
day,
these, man.
like back in the day when we were coming over on ships, we've been bought and sold. That's why we don't look out for us.
yeah.
We're too busy looking out for everybody else
Right.
because we've even been given $1 or $2 and
Right.
we're bought.
Right.
So they say, "Don't you vote? We'll give you $1." Okay.
Right.
And to be honest with you, I had people come to me when I was at Exogen during 2 election cycles, local election cycles, saying, you know, I got $50 to not vote for you.
Yeah.
$50 to not vote for me.
Yes. Yes.
They
It
didn't know what
happens.
they didn't know what that person was gonna push in that ballot box. They did not know if that person knew me or not. They did not know. They didn't know nothing. All they said was, "I give you $50 to vote against this candidate."
Yep. And it happens. And we
In
do it.
Beaumont.
We
That's
do it.
crazy.
We do it.
And
That's
we,
More
crazy.
than what we know.
right. And
Yeah.
this is why we can't. This is why we can't get ahead. We can't get even.
No,
We
no.
don't. We
Because
don't.
they're offering more money.
Right. And we
And that's
sell
No,
our.
they're not
We sell
offering
our
more
soul.
money.
no,
They
they
are
are.
offering money.
Mm-hmm.
Period.
Yeah.
Most of us as candidates, especially these candidates, is asking for your vote, especially locally. I don't want your money. Can I get your vote? Can I get your? To me, a vote is a promise, not a promissory note.
Yeah.
A promise. Can I get your promise that not only will you put my name in this hat, but you will support me until that another cycle come around?
They'll vote you
And
to
if
your
I
face,
slip
but
and
they won't
fall,
vote behind your
David, I
back.
need you to tell me, hey, why you helping me up? Don't just criticize me while I'm down there. Because the longer, just like I tell a lot of people about Aldwin, don't criticize him, help him. Robin, don't criticize her, help her. They, at the moment, they are doors. They are doorways. That's the only way you're going to be able to get anything in there.
I agree with you. I
Those
really
are
agree with you.
doorways.
Yes.
Same goes for W.L. Pate. Same goes for Randy Felshaw. Same goes for Mike Getz, and same goes for Tom Neal.
Yeah.
They are
Who?
doorways. Same goes for Becky Ames. They
Yeah.
are doorways. If you have the relationship where you can go into your city council executive office and talk to Kyle, that's a doorway.
Or when you have them call you, like they've called me a few times. So
I don't get calls no more because they figure I'm gonna say something.
yeah, they tired of me saying
But
something.
it
So
don't matter
Love
because
you guys.
I'm gonna still go and say something.
Love you guys. I gotta go, but
I gotta go through, but I enjoyed it. And also I like to get a shout out to everyone that stopped by and visit us tonight. And let's go from the bottom on top. Sharon Severin and
Come
Sam.
on, Silver.
Yeah, she was on here. Lionel Pooh Adams. Hey, babe, that's my cousin. Rod Joseph, Deborah Jones. Hey, cousin. Shelby Williams and Kay Jones, Gregory Dorsey,
Come
Christopher
on, G. Darcy.
what's going on in Port Town, and Penny Boo. Hey, baby. Sammy Hightower and Reggie Bozeman, Carol
Come on,
Carol
Reggie.
Guillory. Hey, Bird. Cheryl Richard Jackson. That's your South
Come
End.
on. Come on.
Yeah.
Tom Pollock.
Everybody
South
here.
End in the building.
And
The
Jeffrey
real
Alt
South End.
And Terry Savard Haley stopped by to say, stopped by to watch the show a little bit. I don't know how long, but we're there. Denise White, Clementine Holman, Melanie Monroe up in the Metroplex. That's a cousin. John C. Adams and Jonathan Williams stopped in, and Deborah Briggs. And just a big shout out to Reginald and Laverne Brown.
Super excited.
Yeah, Cliff Coleman and Dorothy Jean Senegar. So nobody knows, you know, I call her Jean. Y'all
Come on, Dorothy Jean. Why she popping on your head?
Catherine Hebert and Sheila Pipkin Samuel and Claudel Adams. They all stopped by. And Marva Hill, Bertha Dawson, and Marinette Landry Parkinson. We'd like to thank you guys for stopping in and just if it was just for 5 minutes to say you watched the show, share our information to those people, get them involved so we can go to the polls and vote. Guys, I see y'all the 2 Thursdays from now because I feel like we need to stay on top of this. So with that said,
2 Thursdays from now is perfect.
I'll
take a minute a month.
All right, we can do that. All right, I get with you guys.
Good night, y'all.